Just before we get started, have you seen my business book, Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous? It'll help you get out there and get noticed in your business or career. It's jam-packed with stories, advice, case studies and encouragement. Just search Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. Hi, I'm Penny Haslam. This time on the podcast, take those moments to give unexpected, specific and evidence-based praise. I noticed that you made the extra effort. I just feel really seen and like I'm connected. Don't feel like you have to do everybody. Today, I want to talk about the gift of confidence, how you might, in a small moment of time, boost the feeling of confidence for an individual. Giving praise as a leader or a manager. When you give praise, it can be seriously life-changing for the person receiving it. Now, something I'll never forget, and I remembered it as I was swimming the other week. I was doing some breaststroke up and down the 25-metre pool. Thoroughly enjoying myself, and this thought popped in, this memory, which has never gone away, and it pretty much crops up every time I go swimming, to be honest, of being a kid and being taken with my Auntie Daphne, with my brother, my little brother, to the swimming pool in Sheffield where she lived. And we'd go, every time we visited Auntie Daphne, we would get taken swimming. It was brilliant. And I remember her saying to me, "Oh, Penny, your breaststroke's really come on. It's really good, isn't it? It's really good now." It's something like that. I don't know how old I was. I was young. And I was seriously pumped up from that. And I didn't, like go woo or anything like that. It just went in. Yeah, I know how to do breaststroke. I'm really good at it. And you know what? I still have that feeling today. I'm like, yep, I know how to do a breaststroke. It's so silly, isn't it, in a way, but so powerful. It meant that I went from just being a bit, I'm just doing this thing, or I'm a bit unsure I'm doing it right, to just thinking, yeah, I can do this. And so even in the tone of my voice, you can probably tell there's a shift in how I believe in myself. And I think you can give that gift to others quite easily. Now, it helped that Daphne was a head teacher and she really knew how to pull strings with the kids, you know what I mean, and get them to do stuff and feel good. But it's still true today. We do feel more capable and more confident, and we feel seen, and we might even feel special and significant. And that has made me, as a swimmer, tiny amateur swimmer, made me want to do more, be better, even better. It kind of made me want to reach for the stars. But yeah, it's really, really important, but often overlooked. And in our busy day-to-day lives and our working lives, especially if we're remotely working and we're not working with our teams in person next to each other, it might not be that easy, or it might feel a bit clunky or awkward. But it's really, really valuable. So, we all know that employee engagement's pretty low. In fact, I read recently that it's at an all-time low across Europe at about 12%. So only 12% of employees across Europe feel engaged with their work. That drops in the UK to 10%. Now, you might have a different number at your place of work. That would be cool if you do. Hopefully it's higher. But, for something that doesn't cost anything, it doesn't really take much thinking about, it's well worth doing. And so I've got 3 ideas for you that you can use, all 3 of them, or just one at a time, it doesn't matter, to help people feel like I did in that swimming pool, just feeling special and seen, valued almost as well, like the effort I'd been putting in had paid off, and it made me want to do more. So, first of all, let's look at being specific and evidence-based. So this is something that comes up a lot in confidence conversations about imposter syndrome, or not feeling that you're that capable. Your confidence has yet to catch up with your capabilities. So when you're specific and evidence-based in your praise / micro feedback, I suppose, you've got to sort of get away from just saying you're brilliant. Oh, you're great. Because if someone's impostering at the time or feeling imposterism at the time, well, they're not that confident. They are going to spit that right back at you. No, I'm not brilliant. What makes you say that? You're talking crap. That's a lie. That's where your brain goes to if you're not in feeling like you're in agreement mode. It's also very ego-based. You're brilliant. Well, I personally feel really uncomfortable if someone says that to me. You're brilliant. That was really good. It's like, well, you're really good. Okay, well, I actually want to add a bit more value. I feel a bit more driven to be recognised for something that I've contributed, not just something that I am, right? I don't know if that really makes sense, but there's a difference, I think, and maybe you feel it yourself. So the specific and evidence-based feedback or micro feedback or praise would be, you know what, you did X, Y, Z. That was really good because you did X, Y, Z. Particularly effectively. Thank you. Or I noticed that you made the extra effort when it came to doing ABC and it really paid off. So be specific and evidence-based. Secondly, another really good strong tip is to say their name. Say my name, say my name. A bit Destiny's Child there, right? But it really helps people focus and takes your praise even further. So evidence from numerous neurophysiological, psychological, brain imaging studies essentially has suggested that when you hear your own name, there's a real advantage to that. So you get more attention. So you can really cut through the noise if you're to say, hey, Penny, I noticed you're really good at swimming now. You're going to, cut through the background noise. And yeah, everyone knows in a swimming pool, it is quite noisy, isn't it? It also makes it really relevant to you. It tells you this matters to you. And that is really, really valuable. And also when you hear your own name, there's a sense of belonging. I was just chatting about this with my daughter the other day, who works in a coffee shop. She's got a part-time job in a coffee shop. And she, honestly, I just said, oh, what do you think about when someone says your name? Do you think it's nice? Because we were talking about writing your name on the coffee cups and how she has to sort of embarrassingly ask, what's your name? And then write it on the coffee cup. And she's not very good at spelling. Anyway, she says, when someone says my name or they remember my name, she says, I just feel really... And she was smiling at the time, she even in relaying the story, she's like, and I just feel really seen and like I'm connected to everything. It's just really nice. So yeah, there's that, isn't there? There's a feeling of belonging. So saying someone's name, so being specific and evidence-based and saying the name, you're really doubling down on everything wonderful here. And thirdly, don't feel like you have to do everybody. Like fairly. I have given that person praise this week. Next week, I must remember to give the other person praise or it won't be fair. No, none of that. And you know what? I'll let you off the hook with this, with a brilliant study that has shown that, when you say something like, well done, the way you did this unexpectedly, publicly, it actually increases productivity in that person. But interestingly, it also increases productivity in everyone else because they might have overheard that. And what happens is that it sort of instills standards and values. This is how we do things really well here. It raises everyone's game. People become more productive. Isn't that fascinating? So don't feel like you have to go around sharing your praise fairly. So that's it. It's a really straightforward reminder, because we all know this, because when it's happened to us, we've felt well chuffed with ourselves, haven't we? It's a reminder that when you're busy and you're leading, take those moments to give unexpected, specific and evidence-based praise while saying their name and not feeling like you have to then guiltily go around saying to everybody, oh, well, you did well as well. No, just crack on being a lovely boss that everyone wants to work for and beefing everyone's confidence up and helping them be more productive in the doing of that. So well done for listening. I really liked the way you tuned in there and received that information. I thought you did a smashing job. Thanks for listening.